Blind. By James Whitcomb Riley. You think it is a sorry thing that I am blind. Your pitying is welcome to me, yet indeed, I think I have but little need of it. Though you may marvel much that we, who see by sense of touch and taste and hearing, see things you may never look upon, and true is it that even in the scent of blossoms we find something meant no eyes have in their faces read, or wept to see interpreted. And you might think it strange if now I told you you were smiling. How do I know that? I hold your hand, its language I can understand, give both to me, and I will show you many other things I know. Listen. We never met before till now. Well, you are something lower than 5 feet 8 in height, and you are slender, and your eyes are blue, your mother's eyes, your mother's hair, your mother's likeness everywhere save in your walk, and that is quite your father's. Nervous. Am I right? I thought so. And you used to sing, but have neglected everything of vocalism, though you may still thrum on the guitar, and play a little on the violin. I know that by the callus in the fingertips of your left hand, and, by the by, though nature planned you as most men, you are, left-handed, too. The mystery is clear, though, your right arm has been broken, to break the left one in. And so, you see, though blind of sight, I still have ways of seeing quite too well for you to sympathize excessively with your good eyes. Though once, perhaps, to be sincere, within the whole asylum here, from cupola to basement hall, I was the blindest of them all. Let us move further down the walk. The man here waiting hears my talk, and is disturbed. Besides, he may not be quite friendly anyway. In fact, this will be far enough. Sit down. The man just spoken of was once a friend of mine. He came for treatment here from Burlingame. A rich though brilliant student there, who read his eyes out of repair, and groped his way up here, where we became acquainted, and where he met one of our girl teachers, and, if you believe me, asked her hand in marriage, though the girl was blind as I am, and the girl declined. Odd, wasn't it? Look, you can see him waiting there. Fine, isn't he? And handsome, eloquently wide and high of brow, and dignified with every outward grace, his sight restored to him, clear and bright as day dawn. Waiting still for the blind girl that never will be wife of his. How do I know? You will recall a while ago I told you he and I were friends. In all that friendship comprehends, I was his friend, I swear. Why now, remembering his love, and how his confidence was all my own, I hear, in fancy, the low tone of his deep voice, so full of pride and passion, yet so pacified with his affliction, that it seems an utterance sent out of dreams of saddest melody, withal so sorrowfully musical it was, and is, must ever be. But I'm digressing, pardon me. I knew not anything of love in those days, but of that above all worldly passion for my art, music, and that, with all my heart and soul, blent in a love too great for words of mine to estimate. And though among my pupils she whose love my friend sought came to me, I only knew her fingers' touch because they loitered over much in simple scales, and needs must be untangled almost constantly. But she was bright in other ways, and quick of thought, with ready plays of wit, and with a voice as sweet to listen to as one might meet in any oratorio. And once I gravely told her so, and, at my words, her limpid tone of laughter faltered to a moan, and fell from that into a sigh that quavered all so wearily, that I, without the terror that crept between the keys, had known she wept, and yet the hand I reached for then she caught away, and laughed again. And when that evening I strolled with my old friend, I, smiling, told him I believed the girl and he were matched and mated perfectly. He was so noble, she, so fair of speech, and womanly of air, he, strong, ambitious, she, as mild and artless even as a child, and with a nature, I was sure, as worshipful as it was pure and sweet, and brimmed with tender things beyond his rarest fancyings. He stopped me solemnly. He knew, he said, how good, and just, and true was all I said of her. But as for his own virtues, let them pass, since they were nothing to the one that he had set his heart upon, for but that morning she had turned forever from him. Then I learned that for a month he had delayed his going from us, with no aid of hope to hold him, meeting still her ever firm denial, till not even in his new-found sight he found one comfort or delight. And as his voice broke there, I felt the brother heart within me melt in warm compassion for his own that throbbed so utterly alone. And then a sudden fancy hit along my brain, and coupling it with a belief that I, indeed, might help my friend in his great need, I warmly said that I would go myself, if he decided so, and see her for him, that I knew my pleadings would be listened to most seriously, and that she should love him, listening to me. Go. Bless me. And that was the last time his warm hand shut fast within my own, so empty since, that the remembered fingerprints they kissed 1,000 times, and wet them with the tears of all regret. I know not how to rightly tell how fared my quest, and what befell me, coming in the presence of that blind girl. And her blinder love. I know but little else than that above the chair in which she sat I leant, reached for, and found her hand, and held it for a moment, and took up the other, held them both, as might a friend, I will take oath, spoke leisurely, as might a man praying for no thing other than he thinks. Heaven's justice. She was blind, I said, and yet a noble mind most truly loved her, one whose fond clear-sighted vision looked beyond the bounds of her infirmity, and saw the woman, perfectly modeled, and wrought out pure and true and lovable. She quailed, and drew her hands away, but closer still I caught them. Rack me as you will, she cried out sharply, call me, blind, love ever as, I am resigned. Blind as your friend, as blind as he am I, but blindest of the three, yea, blind as death, you will not see my love for you is killing me. There is a memory that may not ever wholly fade away from out my heart, so bright and fair the light of it still glimmers there. Why, it did seem as though my sight flamed back upon me, dazzling white and godlike. Not one other word of hers I listened for or heard, but I saw songs sung in her eyes till they did swoon up drowning wise, as my mad lips did strike her own and we flashed one and one alone. Ah, was it treachery for me to kneel there, drinking eagerly that torrent flow of words that swept out laughingly the tears she wept? Sweet words! Oh, sweeter far, maybe, than light of day to those that see, God knows, who did the rapture send to me, and hold it from my friend. And we were married half a year ago, and he is, waiting here, heedless of that, or anything, but just that he is lingering to say good-bye to her, and bow, as you may see him doing now, for there's her footstep in the hall. God bless her. Help him. Save us all.